Yo, what the fuck is up, pussies? I'm just fucking living shit out of some food right now. But, this is the video. I'm gonna address how to boost your XP, XP meaning hypertrophy gains, and become a fucking big sexy beast in the gym, like your daddy over here, in the gym. So, just boosting muscle growth in general. Now, before we get into the video, we have to do our traditional Yes King memorial. Rest in peace, fly high. Oh, the king. Oh, what a sad loss. Oh well, let's get straight into the video. So, first things first, let's actually see what, causes muscle growth in the first place, so you fucking pussies can understand. And essentially what it is, it's a combination of mechanical tension, which is the main driver, which is present in every lift on planet Earth. But this tension is only valid and turns into a muscle growth when it interacts with type 2 muscle fibers, and these fibers are only activated when your brain is like, fuck bro, we gotta lift some fucking heavy weight. So it sends a really strong signal to that muscle to contract, which then causes the type 2 muscle fibers to contract as well, which are really prone to growth, therefore causing musculature growth. Now, an example I made for you guys, specifically you guys, was that think of mechanical tension as the angry dad, that just like abuses his son. Think of the type 2 muscle fibers as the son. The goal is to beat the son. So the motor units are going to be like the alcohol for the angry dad, and the really high thresholds of effort to send a really strong signal of motor units to the working muscle is like a bad day at work for the dad. Now, combining the bad day at work with the alcohol will allow the muscles to, be an angry dad, or in other words, experience mechanical tension. And without the dad getting angry, he then can't beat his son, which is the type 2 muscle fibers. Holy fucking shit. And so the whole objective is to beat the son, or, get mechanical tension to interact with these type 2 muscle fibers, therefore allowing for hypertrophy or growth. Now, there's ways you can actually increase this signal, which allows these muscle fibers and more of these muscle fibers to actually interact with mechanical tension and therefore grow. And one of the ways you can do this is by gritting your teeth. And because your teeth are quite close to your brain, ChatGPT said that. I'm not really too sure how that works, but essentially, because it's quite a powerful muscle, and if you grit really hard, that allows your nervous system to sort of give a greater output, even though you're not working your jaw. So the actual muscle you're trying to work is allowed to have a greater allowance of motor units because you're clenching the living fuck out of your teeth, which causes the nervous system to be like, okay, we need to, send more signals because there's so much shit going on off at once. And this allows for like a ton of fucking nervous system activity, therefore allowing for a greater degree of motor units to be sent to the working muscle, if that makes sense. Kind of think about it as in like, so as you do your exercise, like bicep curls, for example, as you lift that weight, your nervous system sends motor units to obviously do that weight. But knowing that we need a lot of these motor units to activate the type 2 muscle fibers, gritting your teeth allows your nervous system to just give it that tiny bit more output, which then allows for so much output to be established, from... Oh, fucking hell, I'm waffling. It just basically means that you can use more nervous system power than you could without gritting your teeth, which then allows your type 2 muscle fibers to be used a lot easier. That's essentially what it means. And this is enhanced by a mouth guard because of the fact that you can grit a lot harder, therefore send a much stronger signal, because as you can probably fucking tell, if you grit your teeth really hard for really long, that's going to cause your teeth to hurt like a fucking bitch. This is a form of negative feedback, which is pain, and negative feedback causes motor unit recruitment to just shut off entirely. So avoiding pain using a mouth guard and gritting really hard allows you to send a like crazy fucking strong signal to that working muscle to just fucking work. Okay, next one, we got clenching abs or fists. These essentially do the exact same thing. Just allows for your nervous system to, send the bigger signal, even though, you're not working out your fingers or your core, your abs. But clenching these, like you're clenching your fist really hard on like a D-handle or like a piece of equipment that, is not moving during the lift, or clenching your abs really hard, is going to then allow these, your nervous system to just be like, yo, let's fucking, like, send some serious signals to pound some pussy. And that's exactly what it does. Now, this is where it gets a little bit techie. So essentially, your glycogen levels can allow you to, this is possibly the biggest and most important factor in terms of, allowing yourself to have a all-on motor unit recruitment, and that is glycogen levels. For those that don't know, glycogen is essentially a combination of carbohydrate and water. There is a ratio out there somewhere, you guys can Google that for yourself, but these combined cause carbohydrates to store themselves using insulin. Oh, fuck, bro. I'm explaining this. So essentially, carbs and water is... fuck. No, I'm explaining this really badly, okay? So essentially, carbs, when you eat carbs, when you eat a fucking slice of cake or whatever, insulin is set off, which is a hormone which is activated when your body, eats fucking carbs. And this hormone essentially signals these carbohydrates to be stored in muscle. As glycogen, and you can store more of this glycogen with a lot of water, or else these carbs are just gonna go into your bloodstream, I assume. I don't actually know. But essentially a high level of glycogen supply, meaning a high degree of hydration and a high degree of carbohydrate intake throughout the entire day, means that your brain then is like, yo, we have a lot of fucking fuel to burn, so let's fucking pump that shit. So essentially, not only are you allowing your brain to firstly be able to be like, yo, let's fucking pump some fucking weight because we can and we have the fuel available to do so, but also it indirectly boosts your energy. If you have a lot of carbs in you and a lot of water, and that's all stored into your your muscles, when that all gets sort of processed and released, that's energy. That is what carbs do at the end of the day, and this will indirectly allow you to have a greater perception of effort, which essentially just means how easy or how hard you essentially want to work. Say if you go into the gym, just like being, I just want to fucking tear that pussy apart, that's having a high perception of effort because you're just ready to fucking pump that shit. If some fucking little pussy goes into the gym saying, I'm just gonna do some cardio and just get my cheeks pumped in the fucking toilets, like, they just don't really want to be there, and therefore their perception of effort's fucking cooked. So this is really important for obvious reasons I've already stated. And another one of these XP boosters is definitely going to be pre-workout. Now, the benefit of pre-workout is not only does it make you more energized, allowing you to have a greater perception of effort, which then allows for more motor unit recruitment. That should be obvious. You want to fucking tear shit up. That's going to allow you to use more motor units because you're more hyped up. So your brain perceives shit as easier, and you're more hyped. More motor units are being, sent to your muscles and shit. But essentially, caffeine blunts pain receptors as well as your, thingy. So essentially, it gives you a better pain tolerance. So you have less negative feedback. I've explained that, how it limits motor unit recruitment. And the beta-alanine, which is a very common component of, like nearly every single pre-workout on the fucking market, is a amino acid, which its entire role is to soak up acid that gets built up in your muscles as you work out. So, and these muscles are literally why this acid is why you feel this burn in your muscles as you work out and do really heavy shit, because that's literally acid building up in your muscles. That's why you feel burning and burning sensations, and these burning sensations and pain are forms of negative feedback, which cause your motor unit cortex to just fucking shut down entirely and be like, yo bro, this shit low-key hurts, you know, let's fucking tone it down. And that's obviously bad for obvious reasons, because then that less motor unit output then causes you to not be able to use these really you know, cool motor fucking hell, okay. I don't really know what I'm talking about. Fuck. But yeah, that's the end of the video. If you're questioning why I know that mouth guards increase motor unit recruitment, I definitely don't, you know, use a mouth guard in a public commercial gym. Well, I might do, but you know, it's pretty cool, as I've listed. So hope you guys have enjoyed. Consider subscribing and becoming a part of the King Engine, you know, train. And yeah, I'm gonna go to bed now. Good night, guys.